Welcome back to TMZ Sports. I don't even think I need to
You might
introduce this man
you
right
might
here.
want to so people know what to call me now.
Right. Oh, I
Yeah.
know, I know. So,
Yes, I'm
Paul
Paul
White,
White, yes.
you are not
Yeah, who
the
I
other.
used to be. I'm like
Right.
the guy from, Harry Potter, he who shall not be named. Yeah, that's great.
Well, I didn't think we'd have a Voldemort
Yeah,
reference
yeah.
5 seconds in.
I've had, people try to chant that sometimes, some of the shows I went to. I'm like, don't do that, not my intellectual property. Let's move along."
Oh, that's too good. So you are Paul White.
Yes, I think so today,
You
yeah.
you are wrestling in a big time match
Yes,
tomorrow, Wednesday night,
yes, Like a Dragon, Gaiden street fight. So
8-man match.
yeah, don't ask me what that involves. I just know it sounds like there'll be a lot of carnage and a lot of bodies flying everywhere. So just another day at the office.
Right. So you've been with AEW for a few years.
Yes,
You've been behind the microphone.
yes.
You haven't wrestled that much, right?
Haven't, dude. I've
Handful.
been fighting. I ran hard for many years when I
Yeah.
worked for WWE. And about 2018, I think the bill came due. I had
Really.
hip replacement on the left hip, then hip replacement on the right hip, and last year I had a left knee replacement. So I'm running out of joints pretty soon. All the joints have been replaced that feel great. So at this point, I feel like I'm Terminator now. I've got metal parts that I'm moving great.
You feel good, like ready
I
to
feel good. I
go.
mean, I'm still beat up. I mean, let's be
Yeah.
honest. I did this 5 nights a week for 20 plus years all over the world. So at this stage of the game for me, it's not necessarily about winning
Right.
championships. It's having fun.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody at 51 is going to be like they were at 31.
Right. Of
But
course.
mentally, I feel great. I'm in a great company. Work with a lot of great people, a lot of young kids with a lot of passion, and I'm having fun.
Are you? I mean, like you said, you've done this
Yeah,
thousands of times. Are you excited? Tomorrow, you're going to get in a ring.
I am
Are you
excited. I'm
excited?
excited. I'll be honest with you. I'm nervous.
Really?
I think that's part of the draw or the magic of doing what we do is that anticipation, that adrenaline rush
Right.
of performing in front of a crowd and wanting to put on a good show, an exciting show, and that's a hard, lack of a better term, that's a hard fix to get anywhere
Yeah.
else. And you have to adjust your expectations on um, what you're doing as things mature. Because when you're younger, it's kind of about you. They're
Yep.
building you.
Yep.
They're building you. Well, I'm built.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so now it's my chance to give back to other talent and help younger talent establish themselves and hopefully become household names at some point too.
Do you look at someone then that like Hobbs, who's like a big dude too, and say, hey, like, hey, maybe that was me like 30 years ago, or
Well, I think and this probably sounds super arrogant. I don't think there's been many people like me, but I
fact.
think I see the same fire and intensity and ability to connect with the audience. I mean, Hobbs is a very powerful, explosive, intense individual, which there's been many guys like that I've seen in our business, from Goldberg, who had that intensity, to Brock Lesnar,
Yeah.
who had that intensity, and then you have a guy like Hobbs, who has a lot of the same characteristics of someone who won't go around you, he'll go through you.
Right.
So for me, being in the business as long as I have, I can understand that and appreciate that, and you want to develop that and make that grow.
I'm not sure people realize. I mean, you talked about just the way you physically feel. I mean, how physical this
It
business is. I mean,
is.
just talk about some of that and what it feels like to get up every day.
Well, I sound like a bowl of Rice Krispies, and if you threw a bunch of pots and pans down the wooden stairs, that's what I sound like the first 5 steps. But I'm not complaining about that.
Yeah.
That's a sacrifice I happily made to do something that's been fantastic for me. I mean, I'm a small town kid from South Carolina.
Yeah.
And I have been to the world. I've put my hands on the Great Pyramids in Egypt. I've been to Japan, Australia, China. So I've been everywhere, and I've worked with some of the greatest professional wrestlers that have ever been in this business. I've been around. I've been able to call friends from Hogan, Savage, Flair, Arn Anderson, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Undertaker, all these talents that are just have left so many impactful memories to fans where I've been in the same group with those
Right.
guys and got to experience that. So with wrestling, sure, there's predetermined outcome, but you can't fake gravity and you can't
Right.
fake the toll. I mean, it's not the one night a week that people see on TV.
Right.
It's the 4 or 5 nights a week. It's the travel, and it's wrestling. Your body's hot, warmed up. Then you shower real quick, throw on your clothes, and you jump in a car and you drive 200 miles to the next
Right.
town. So you sit in a car for 3 hours, and after a while, that stuff builds up. But I'm not
No.
complaining whatsoever. I'm blessed and grateful and happy I still get to contribute and have some fun.
Yeah. I do think the predetermined aspect of it, a lot of times people, they don't give it its fair
Well,
share
I
then
I think
how freaking physical this is.
I think people sometimes, like wrestling has always been that black sheep of the family
Yeah.
kind of a thing. It's like I play Dungeons and Dragons too.
Yeah.
So like nobody talks about D&D unless you run into other people that play
Right.
D&D.
Right.
They're like, "Oh, you play D&D."
Right.
So it's the same kind of thing with
Yeah.
wrestling. It's like, "Oh, you're a wrestling fan." So it's about just making emotional connections for the audience. Like one thing that I love about AEW is the authenticity of the
Yeah.
product. I came from a place that was very structured and very organized, and they had been in business a long time, and they had a formula,
Right.
and it was very programmed for success.
Right.
And you would have 19 or 20 writers running around, and somebody you never met before would hand you a promo uh, on what it's like to be a 7 foot, 500 pound giant, and it doesn't look like this kid can even shave.
Right.
But in AEW, it's a lot more of it's dependent on the talent. Like when the talent has a promo, there's no one writing that promo for the talent.
Wow.
The talent has to go out there and basically get themselves over. And I
Mm.
think that for our fan audience gives a better authenticity, a better feel of connection because you're actually getting that talent. And hey, you're gonna make mistakes when you're younger.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You're gonna learn, you're gonna grow, and it's just great that we have viable options for talent too. Because for a long time there was only one game in town,
Right.
and if you didn't make it there, well, it was hard to make a living
Right.
elsewhere. Now there's, with AEW being backed by Tony Khan and the Khan family, there's deep pockets there.
Yeah.
I mean, deep, deep pockets. So it's able to develop your character, get some exposure. We've got a great television deal with TNT and TBS, so they're getting mainstream coverage, and we're growing. And if a talent can't find their groove in AEW, they might find it in WWE, and
Yeah.
vice versa. If they can't find it in WWE, they might find it in AEW, and it's refreshing. I mean, you'll get talents that transfer back and forth,
Yep.
and new exciting matches for the fans. And sometimes they get to see some of their favorites from years ago. I'm kind of like Snake Plissken from
Yeah.
Escape from New York.
Yeah.
Like people are happy I'm still alive.
Right.
So,
So
so
the competition is it's got to be a good thing for these.
it's
two,
great
right?
because it's good synergy. That's the thing about AEW. I love it's because there's a lot of them that are incredibly talented,
Yeah.
that are young, that are, and I use this term with fond affection. They're hungry little
Right.
whippersnappers.
Yeah.
I mean, and sometimes I try to help them out. Not so much coaching because they've got great coaches with Jay Lethal and Billy Gunn, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of great minds there to help with that. Even
Yeah.
QT Marshall is an incredible coach. They've got that. I try to help them with the just the little nuances of just being consistent and knowing when to let things get under your skin and when not to, and knowing who you are as a talent. I think that's in today's world, it's so much easier to build the brand because of social media.
Right. Oh yeah.
I mean, you've got Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all these different platforms to build your brand where we didn't have that back in the day.
No.
But back in the day, you also had the ability to make mistakes
Right.
and fail
Not
because
everything.
not everything was instantly on the
Right,
internet 5 minutes after it happened. So while that's a great benefit for the talent to establish themselves, it's also important for them to, I think, to stay grounded on who you are. You can't believe everything written
Yeah.
well about you or good about
Yep.
you, just like you can't believe everything written bad about
Right.
you. You have to find that sweet spot where you know who you are as a talent. You're honest with yourself on what you need to improve on. And you accept that sometimes, you're going to make mistakes. Things are going to happen. Things aren't going to go well. That was yesterday. All we can do is go out today and be better today and better tomorrow.
So Wednesday night 8-man match. The whole country's watching on TBS. How often do we see you in the ring?
In this match coming up?
No, in general though. What's the plan going forward?
Well, the thing is,
Flair just did it. It wrestled at 73.
yeah.
Do we have is Big
Listen,
Show wrestling at 73?
I hope
I see. I just did it. Is
yeah. Follow Wight, yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It'll get you. It'll get you.
I said I wasn't going to do it too.
Well, I mean, Flair's a unique individual. I mean, I hope I make it to 73. He's just been an amazing guy that has that energy and love for what he does, and that's who he is, and he's going to take that opportunity.
If Rick made it, you're making it.
I don't think maybe not at the caliber that Ric Flair is living life with his woo energy drinks and his
good stuff,
his woo weed.
He's got it all with Mike Tyson.
He's got it all.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah, I don't think
woo doesn't make.
I don't think my brand goes that way, but you never know. I've got lazy and hungry covered.
Right.
So I don't think I'll be much of a weed guy, but it's just about taking opportunities and giving back and having fun. So we'll see how it goes. I know that me personally, this was kind of a situation with this setup that I had to come in and fill in this spot, which is fine. That's what you do. There's more personal things that I'm trying to get going because Tony has secured the rights for Captain Insano. So we're trying to do something fun with that and bring that back. And a lot of it is just trying to get the timing right and introduce it at the right time, because that, I think, will be my main, lack of a better term, balls to the wall last run. Do Captain Insano. When we bring that out, we'll run with that hard and fast and take that where it's going to go. 51 now. I have a couple years left here in AEW. I don't plan on going anywhere. Plan on getting back behind the commentating table at some point.
Have you enjoyed that?
I loved it. It's
Really?
it's interesting because I'm still very green at the commentary, and I have to find my own style. I'm not going to be. There's no way you're going to be as fast or as knowledgeable as a guy like Excalibur.
Right.
I mean, Excalibur is like a friggin' encyclopedia sitting there with the way he rattles off stuff.
Yeah.
JR is your classic veteran who's been there, done it all, called some of the biggest matches of all time. He's got his group. Tony Schiavone is just as smooth as peanut butter. He's just so smooth at what he does and takes any situation and makes it good. Finding my own rhythm for it that's entertaining, but also doesn't distract from the talent in the ring. Because if you're, when you've got a microphone, sure, I could make all the commentating about me and fun jokes, but that's not what I'm there. I'm there to try to enhance the other talent and explain what they're doing and help them make a connection with the audience.
How often are you asked about, like, you and Mark Henry, for instance, obviously both under AEW, about you guys getting in the ring again together? I mean, do fans ask you about that stuff? Do they want to see that?
I think so. It's funny. Mark and I have been hit with a lot of projects from people want us to tag together, even to people like there's been some talk about Mark and I doing something where we're basically two fat guys in a car going checking out restaurants across the country. So
I'd watch that.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. They'd watch that. So I have a lot of fun with Mark. He's my brother from another mother, and I love him to death. So at the same time, I don't think Mark wants to get in the ring. And no, I think he's real good now. He's had an incredible career, and he's had an incredible career powerlifting, and my man Mark right now is in a real chill spot.
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
I think if the price was right, of course, but I think right now he's got a lot more time to dedicate to JoJo and Jacob. His son's a hell of a football player,
I've heard.
hell of a wrestler, so hell of a student too. Really proud for Jacob. So I think Mark's enjoying being involved with his kids a lot and doing that. So
I'll get you out of here on this one. Speaking of being a student, when you're young, when you're at Wichita State, so you're playing basketball, could you ever have imagined that you would have the wrestling career that you had? I mean, maybe you thought you were going to be an NBA player.
No.
What do you think about the way things have turned out? Did you think you were going to be a professional basketball player? I mean, talk to me about that.
Well, it's a funny little story you're saying. About 1992 or 3, Xavier McDaniel, who played at Wichita State, would always come back over the summers. And the coach that had recruited me through high school, Coach Mike Cohen, had been fired.
Right.
So we had a new coach coming in, Scott Thompson, and everybody was kind of, what are we going to do? New coach, it's a big shake-up, and X was always pestering me. And he kept telling me I should go into wrestling. I said, man, listen, I'm going to play in the NBA. That's what I've trained for since I was a kid. This is what I do. He says, man, you're going to be the only 7-foot dude that gets cut by the Japanese team. He says, I'm telling you what you need to do. You need to go into pro wrestling and be Andre the Giant's son. He says, man, you look like Andre. I'm telling you, that's what you need to do. And I was
Xavier McDaniel?
Xavier McDaniel saw the vision on the wall long before it ever happened. It's funny when I met with Hulk Hogan at the time and Eric Bischoff, and they were talking about the idea they had where I was going to be Andre's son, because I reminded them of Andre. I just, in the back of my mind, I shook my head and just,
Xavier.
X-Man was right. There you go. But no, you have no concept. I think that's the thing I would definitely want to pass on to younger people. Don't be so impatient and frustrated. It's not, if something that you're doing doesn't turn out the way you think, it's not the end of the world. Just keep your eyes open and keep your attitude positive, and things. I know it's always easy to hear that crap from somebody that's successful, but it's true. The only difference between me being here and not being here is having an attitude and having a good positive attitude and taking a chance and saying, hey, why not? This looks fun. Let me try this. Rather, you get 0% of the opportunities that you don't take.
Yeah.
So if you have it, then you never know, because your life's going to change. There are things out there that in your 20s and late teens and early 20s that you have no idea that you might like because you haven't experienced it yet. So don't just, keep plowing ahead and stay positive and look for opportunities. I know that sounds like it ought to be on the back of a Hallmark card, but
it's true.
Anybody that's had any success in life, nobody's gotten there on a straight path. There's been hiccups along the way. There's been adversities. There's been things that change the direction of how you think it should go as a young person. Accept that, roll on with it, and make the most of it, and find something you do that makes you happy. Because here's the thing, at this stage of the game, if I didn't love what I do, I wouldn't do it.
Right.
I don't have to.
Right. You're financially secure.
I'm good. Like, I got a pantry full of food, the fridge is full, the lights are on. I don't need anything else.
You got it.
You know what I mean? But I'm doing this because, I love doing it, and I love the energy of our AEW talent, and I love the fact that we're building something. I mean, we sold out Wembley Stadium in August just on brand alone. That's
right.
It's huge. We got a lot of ways to go, and we're growing as a company, and we're growing as talent. But to be here at those stages and be part of the mix, I'm grateful to be a part of it.
Can't wait for tomorrow. Don't know how many you have
either.
left. I know.
I'm telling you, man. It's funny, is I almost had to call in a favor to my big brother Shaq. So.
Let me. Shaq is going to be here on Thursday in the building, 2 days from now.
Okay.
Any message for your
him?
NBA
One,
superstar brother?
I want to tell him that I love him because I miss him.
Okay.
He's always a good man. Two, I almost had to call him to see if he had a suit hanging up in L.A. because I needed an emergency. Suit, and it was like.
You know how many people you call? I could call a bunch of people.
I needed an all black suit for something I had to do, and I haven't had an all black suit since like the 90s.
Right.
And it's like, and those were my fat suits, so I would look like Paul Wight that got stuck in a dryer.
Right.
So I was like, where can I get a suit? I'm like, if I need an emergency, and there was two guys that I figured I could call. One would be Shaq, who of course would give you the shirt off his back because he's awesome. And then also Satnam Singh, because Satnam, our Indian giant, he's starting to make a little money now, so he's got some nice suits. He's got some nice suits. I've been checking his gear out, and I'm like, my man's dressing. I mean, I dress like a retired high school football coach because it's comfortable, but sometimes I'm like, maybe I'll hit him up. But I was actually able to secure what I needed.
Where do you go for? I know I said I was going to let you go. Where do you get a suit from?
I'm telling you, I went to
not off the rack, obviously.
I did.
No,
I went to DXL in DXL casual. Was it casual male, big and tall? And
they have your size because there's big and tall, and then
there's a 62 long. I need an extra long, but they had a 62 long.
I've worn a 38 at times, not anymore, but
no, that's a sport coat, not the pant size.
No, I know not the pant. I've worn a 38.
38 chest?
Yeah, I mean, it's before I put on some pounds here. Maybe I'm 40 now, but yeah.
Wow. Okay, I think my legs are 38, and I'm not making funny. I'm just surprised. I'm trying to think like
I mean, maybe
that was
42.
like probably me in like third grade, like. think I was 100 pounds when I turned 6. So I was like 4'11" and 101 pounds at 6 years old. So, yeah, so I actually did get it off the rack. So it worked out. It accomplished my needs, and I was really surprised. Like, it was one of the most painless shopping experiences I've had. Not that I just did a big commercial for DXL, but that's the truth.
It was a very organic plug.
Thanks,
brother,
man.
Thank you.
Who knows? Maybe
I've been dreading shaking this hand.
what? You know what's funny? You've got a good grip, though.
Do I?
Yeah, you got a good grip. You've got a very tiny, aggressive grip. You know,
That's me. Yeah.
It's kind of like this between a lobster and like a little crawdad. You know.
Well, I knew I had to go in there.
You went in there hard. It was
did
like
I?
You were letting me know that I'm a man. I'm manly. Respect me, giant. Yeah, look at that. Like, I mean, look, my fingers are turning white.
Oh my! Look, your finger is the size of my wrist.
Yeah, I know. The only problem with having fingers this big, it's my little joke I do with kids. Like little kids, I love this joke because they'll all freak out in my hands.
Right.
And I'll say, my fingers are so big I can't pick my own nose. And to a kid, they'll look at like, oh wow, you can't. I'm like, can I use your finger? And some of the kids will be like, ew.
Right.
And some of them will be like, yeah, sure, man. You need a finger, you need a finger. I know it's stupid, but I love it.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Watch Big Show tomorrow.
Who?
Oh, my God.
Who? I want you to know that he said that, I didn't, and I correct him on intellectual property. I am Paul Wight, futurely known as Captain Insano.
Like a Dragon, Street Fight tomorrow, 8, 7 Central on TBS. Thank you.
Thank you.
Paul.